Good morning, Mr. Arun Bharatram, Mrs. Radhika Bharatram, Mrs. Vasi Bharatram, Manika ma'am, Sudha ma'am, Chavi ma'am, teachers, grandparents, parents, students, and the batch of 2013. As I stand here today in this brand new multi-purpose hall, I look around in awe. I see my school and I feel what it means to me. I acknowledge what I've learned here and I acutely miss the presence of its founder. We know that none of this would have been possible without the vision and beliefs of Mrs. Manju Bharatram, who, while not with us physically, lives on through the four core values and the traditions that she believes in, and our school holds dear. I must confess, trying to do justice to this graduating batch in a single speech is a Herculean task, but I've tried my best. The run-up to this moment actually started the second I became head of student council in November last year, when Anushka Chalana, one of my closest friends, said in complete seriousness, "Your speech better be good, Praharsh." Over the last few months, it had gradually begun dawning on all of us that our school lives were finally coming to an end. Everything we did in school became the last time we did it. Last walks to the lunch hall, the last time we had a math on a Wednesday, or even something as serious as our last games class. We pretended not to let these things bother us, pretended that we were all excited to go to college, and laughed at our seniors who said that they missed school. But day by day, more and more people began to find joy in the smaller things, like being together on the field, having highly intellectual conversations in the washroom, or even putting on our Shri shirt for the last time. Speaking to my parents, I realized that school is not something that one can ever let go of. It stays with us for our entire lives. I know now that there is no other group of students I would have rather spent my school years with than my batch, the batch of 2013. I joined Shri 7 years ago, moving from Bombay as a student of the Cathedral and John College School. Being from a school where speaking in Hindi was tantamount to speaking in Hebrew, joining Shri was a massive culture shock. Something was different about this school from the second that I entered. Teachers were ma'am, not miss. Instead of concrete, there was a green field. It gave me a sense of belonging. My first class, 5C, remains my most cherished. Yatin, Zaf, Pandey, Yash, Rukun, and Indrishnu, combined now with my ability to create trouble, made our class the most feared amongst the 10-year-olds in our batch. From our endless games of Dragon Ball Z and that trip to Agra, to the inter-class pen fight tournaments, and even Rishab making us get in line to share his tiffin, coming to school each day was a joy. Talking about junior school would not be complete without the teachers that made that year so memorable. Rabab ma'am, for being the only teacher who truly understood the genius that lay in Rishab's Captain Underpants story. Neeti ma'am, who put the fear of God in all of us on a daily basis and then scared us even more with her growing up workshops. Sonali ma'am, who still looks at Yatin, Zafar and I as 11-year-olds, asking herself in disbelief how God could let us grow up so fast. And Priya ma'am, who I wish could be here with us today, just so that she could know how much she meant to all of us. Moving from junior to middle school, which in typical Shri doting fashion was also called graduation, was something of a watershed moment for all of us. Making that walk across the foyer to our senior school classes was terrifying. But we managed to become all that we thought our senior school students would be. In a class with Anshul, Tushar Bhargav, Sudeep and Abhinav Dawar, classes 6, 7 and 8 were destined to be years of academic underachievement for me, surrounded by the brightest in our batch. Luckily for me, I had Yash, Jay, Sara and Urvi to give me company at the bottom of the class. Stealing biscuits every day during fruit class and making jungle noises in the middle of Manjuman's classes on forestry, classes 6, 7 and 8 were turning out to be the realization of all of my parents' nightmares. And to top it all, at the grand old age of 12, I decided to get myself a girlfriend. Anushka, though our relationship was deep and meaningful, I am so sorry that I could not give you the time that you deserve. I was too busy catching up on episodes of SpongeBob and stuffing myself with packets of chips, to impress you. There were teachers during this time that did see me for what I could be, and not the increasingly overweight slacker that I was. Shoma ma'am, you will always be my favorite geography teacher and the first teacher to say to my mother, "This boy has potential, but what is he doing?" Ma'am, thank you for being the first teacher to believe in me. I would not have reached where I have without you. And Sushila ma'am, the only teacher to fail me 3 tests in a row, laughing while she did it. Ma'am, for all the zeros that I got in your letters, मैं आज तक उनका format नहीं भूला. Thank you ma'am for always believing that I would come through. Isha ma'am, Swapna ma'am, Anna ma'am, Natasha ma'am, and all the other teachers that were part of my growing up in middle school. I know that all the things that we take away from Shri are not only because you are great teachers, but also because you are special people. I thank you on behalf of my batch, because if ever there was a time to express our gratitude for all that you did for us, this is it. Years were flying by and we were growing up. Football jerseys at birthday parties became formal shirts. Our teachers began talking about our boards, and thankfully, all of us began shaving our mustaches. Class 9 brought with it shuffled classes and the responsibility of being senior school students, truly. It was the year of pellet fights in 9C, Joyce's continual words of wisdom, and most importantly, the year of Camp Kyari. Trips to the village, the hours spent in the river, Yatin, Parul, Nihar and I in our little hammock spot, all the girls who fell in love with Jay together, our intense volleyball matches, watching the girls having their annual fight. It was the best time of our lives. Whenever I think about the time we spent together as a batch, Kyari will always be my favorite memory. To all the friends I made in this time, Ayushi, Ankita, Vasudha, Chog, Sunny, Karan, who remain my best friends to this day. Watching Ankita, Vasudha and Ayushi compare themselves to alpha, beta and gamma rays remains my most ridiculous memory in class. With Sandhya Shri ma'am's capital P, capital T rant against Yatin and being part of Harish sir's chemistry class on the importance of physics coming a close second. In class 9, it wasn't that we were all growing up, but that our lives were changing so quickly. Sudha ma'am, that conversation you had with me the night before the Times of India competition has stayed with me till today. Without your belief in me and my ability to compete nationally, I would have never had the confidence to do the things that I have been able to do so far. Ma'am, I will remember what you and this school did for me that day for the rest of my life. Because I know now that you had said it right. That competition changed my life. Thank you. Class 10 started a full 15 months before our boards. But you could sense that the pressure had started getting to people already. Zafar began sporting a beard. Sunny combined his notebooks for 10 subjects into one massive empty register. And Monica ma'am, the chemistry teacher who saved our lives, said, "You don't know this also? Arey Bhagwan." Things were on track until the summer hit us. And then it all came crashing down. We lost the heartbeat of our batch. Vishak, it's been almost 3 years now. But time hasn't made it easier. We miss your laughter, your renditions of Freddie Mercury, your constant attempt to make memories, and I think most of all, we miss the way you brought us all together. Every day that passes reminds us just how much we needed you sitting here with us today, because it just doesn't feel right without you, Pandey. We all pulled together, and we came out of it stronger as a batch, and it will always be something that keeps us together, no matter where our lives take us. When we started class 11, we believed that it was time to give something back to our school. So we started participating in events around the country and worked hard for the school. We became members of student council, worked hard to be part of school sports teams. We acted, danced, sang, planned events, and did all that we could. But being a perpetual struggle in the sports field, I never got around to making it in any team, much to the delight of my parents. But I have to say, the sports coaches of Aravali tried their best. Chauhan sir, who remains my fitness guru, or Rajendra sir, who made me run round through the field holding a bat up high. Dilip sir, who always said, "Praharsh, shooting to theek hai, pehle lay up to kar." Or even Umaid sir, who immediately after seeing me play football, recommended that I stick to basketball. Sirs, without your encouragement and occasional beatings, मैं तो अब तक उतना ही मोटा रहता. Thank you very much. These last 2 years have ultimately defined our lives in school. To all the people I found on the way, Ruben, Pranay, Arjun, Arushi, Seli, Addy, Adit, all of whom made this journey worthwhile. A huge part of the fun that we've had in school was due to the trips that we took together. whether to Jaipur or even that trip to Bombay. Adit Mehta, thank you for making Sara, Ruben and I laugh for at least 3 hours continuously that night at Colaba and giving me one of the best weeks of my life. Whenever we're both on a trip next, we're going to Danza Kuduro again. For all the teachers that encouraged us to try new things every day. Harish sir, Sheena ma'am, Sabira ma'am, Shoma Lahiri ma'am, Munmun ma'am. Thank you all very much. Sheena ma'am, you are my fellow Michelangelo enthusiast and the only teacher who constantly entertained our endless questions. I hope that one day I can impact the life of another student as positively as you have mine. Through classes 11 and 12, being a member of the student council made us feel more responsible towards our school and its systems. From organizing events like Shri and Shri Utsav to being part of the group that created the first student societies in the history of the school, the opportunities were incredible. For this, I have to thank my seniors, Rotin, Agni, Shivang, and Nikki, for being constant sources of advice, and in Rotin's case, constant ridicule, and always being there for us when we needed support or just needed someone to talk to. To the 10 of you that succeed us as a council, I wish you the best of luck. Natasha, as Agni said to me, I can think of no one better suited to take up the work that we leave behind. Remember, Aravali grows bigger with every year that passes, and being here in this new MPH is a testament to that. That means more work for all of you, so stay focused, and I'm sure you'll do bigger and better things. To Chavi ma'am, more than just my economics teacher, my guide and counselor for these past 2 years. Ma'am, I can never thank you enough for all that you have done for me and for my batch. But I hope that you understand just how much you have come to mean to all of us as individuals and as a group. Ma'am, your belief that we could plan and execute your belief that we could plan and execute all the events that we did, from Environment Week to Bandstand, to being our sounding board. Chavi ma'am, you were everywhere. Class 12 began with graduation for our seniors, which I look back as truly the first time our batch came together and worked as a single group, having tons of fun along the way. For those of you that stayed back to make awards, Bhavya, Sanya Keswani, and Addy in particular, to all the girls in 12 Humanities, Ruben, Ankur, Chris, and Zafar not included. You really were the only reason our batch remained sane. For all the artwork that you helped out with on graduation and Teachers' Day, to constantly winning that inter-class board competition, and for all of your all science debates that could be heard in the corridors, you really were an incredible class. To what I think is the most important, serious, and focused part of our batch, 12 Commerce. All that I just said about our class is false. This class was a madhouse. With Jayesh, Satyaki, Rohit and Rahul playing the ultimate backbenchers, with Namit trying to make phone calls with his calculator. This was a recipe for complete mayhem. And we did not disappoint. For all the time spent in class, and Pooja and Harshini seemed to be the only ones in academic control. When Rahul's desk looked more like a display at a comic convention, and for every time we found Addy sleeping soundly in class. This was our batch at its finest. 30 years later, when Pranay owns many fancy restaurants all over the world, and Arjun continues to be right about every single thing, we're going to do it all again. For all the teachers who had to bear us for an entire year. To Vikrama ma'am, Kamini ma'am, Kamra sir, Ritesh sir, Anuradha ma'am, Sandeepa ma'am, Mandeep ma'am, and Chavi ma'am. This is a public apology for putting you through all that we did. And a true testament to the strength and resolve of the staff here at Aravali. To Vikrama ma'am, the pleasure that you derive from seeing your students beg for marks is unparalleled. And though I will always be chief beggar, your dry wit and humor made Henchard's life so much more interesting. Ritesh sir, my one regret in school has been that I could not act with you on stage. But sir, seeing your endless energy for social work has driven all Aravali students to become better Indians. And so one day, हम इस देश को बदलेंगे. Despite all the fun that I had in class, I will always remember 2012 for our trip to Germany. Cycling at 1 in the morning with Karan, being Ria's neighbor for an entire week, Having cherries and chips with Rajendra sir and Swapna ma'am, and Ankita and Bhavya understanding the German public transport system completely to get us to the Berlin Wall, there wasn't anything that we did not do that trip. Watching Euro 2012 with the hardcore German fans and Sunny, who was even more passionate than the locals, and how we came together to pull off India Night are just a few things that made that trip extraordinary. For my last year in school, being part of the student council and executive board, my interactions, Jesus. I'm going to continue. My interactions with my juniors was something that became a wonderful part of my time here. Do I need the mic? Do I need the mic? Yeah. My interactions with my juniors was something that became a wonderful part of my feels like school. My interactions with my juniors is something that became a wonderful part of my time here. Nirav, Nitya, Sana, Shivam, Vedika, Reva, Akshat, Amira, Laksh and Rohan. You all were a big part of my time here at Ravli. And I leave this school knowing that there is more than one reason to come back. For all of you in the audience, this is a very special school. Learn all that you can in your time here. And make sure you leave the gate every day having been part of something new and positive. As we prepare to go our separate ways, the one thing that each one of us feels right now is the overwhelming sense of love and obligation to the institution that we are all so proud to be a part of. Never mind where we go, our pride in being Indian, our innate sensitivity, our constant desire to excel, and our strong belief in integrity will always unite us. To all my friends that have made these past 7 years so wonderful, I cannot thank you enough. Jay, Sarah, Ankita, and Sanya Malhotra, you four have always been there for me through everything. Ankita, for being there every time that I needed her. Jay, for being my only friend who seems to care about even the smallest things. Sarah, for all of our trips together. And Sanya, for being so uncomplicated and constantly entertaining. Ruben, Chug, Sally, Adit, Chris, Arjun, Pranay. My friends, my family. The people I can talk to about anything, who know the second something is a little off. Thank you guys for always being there. You're always going to be my clique. I need at least 3 more years in school with all of you. From the conversations in class, ranging from workout supplements to wrestling, and all the ridiculous slap bets made me realize that without all of you, I would have no stories to tell my children. Parul, Anushka, Riya. Anushka, you're always going to be my first love, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Parul, for all of your moods and poetry, stay happy, always. It suits you. Rio, you're always going to be my favorite. I miss living 10 seconds away from you. Sunny, Karan, my better halves, the only people who know how to complete my sentences. Time spent with the two of you is spent on either of 2 things. Making fun of each other or making fun of Pranay. And that's exactly the way it's going to be for many years. Hey, Sunny, Karan, Jesus man. Yatin, Zafar, my 2 oldest friends and my closest. I know that we don't talk as much as we used to, but don't for a second think that you mean any less to me. That trip to Agra told me everything that I needed to know about you two, and that I had found friends for the rest of my life. Thank you for being the 2 strongest people that I know. Nihar, a few lines can't really tell this story, but I'll give it a shot. From being the hen to my cow, to being there every time that I needed you, it's hard imagining most of my school life without you being around. When we're on different continents in October, just know that you're always going to have a friend in me, and that's never going to change. For everyone wearing a red kurta today, just know that wherever our lives take us when we walk out of this gate, we will always have each other, just the way it has always been. From future Nobel laureates in Anshul and Sudeep, to our drama kings and queens, Ayushi, Ankur, Arushi, Parul and Vasudha, from the creativity in Rahul, Urvi, Valika and Nenika, to the athletes in Riya, Ruben, Yatin, Chok and Nihar, our batch really does have everything. And add to that the wicked humor of Pranay, Raghav Nanda, Vivek and Abhinav, and the serenity of Sanya Keswani, Ankita and Bhavya, and you have a very special group of people. Batch of 2013, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. There is no other group of people I would rather leave this school with. To the people who have to bear my problems, my ravings, my moments of madness, and my tantrums, my family. To my grandparents, thank you for all the evenings when Mama and Papa dumped me on you out of sheer exhaustion. To all of your support in every decision that I've made, and for being the constant sources of strength that you are. To my dad, who for all his eccentricities remains my hero, for being the only reason behind my love for the Lord of the Rings and Batman. Dad, please continue to fund my various endeavors. Thank you for being a source of intellectual inspiration for me, Papa. I'm going to keep trying to make you proud. To my mother, the source of all my advice, for not letting me give up on my dreams, for being the strongest woman that I know, and for being my constant pillar of support. Mama, I try each and every day to find new ways to keep you smiling, and so far, I think I'm doing okay. Keep being the strong woman that you are, because where else am I going to draw my strength? To my little sister Mihika, who is the only one who keeps me sane in the madness that is the Johorey household. You and me against the world, remember? Colby, I know I don't say this enough, but you're adorable. And the hardest part of leaving school is knowing that we won't be here together. They say that moving on is a simple thing. What it leaves behind is hard. There is nothing that is truer today. And looking at school now and at this new auditorium makes me wish that I had some more time here. I know that this will forever be remembered as the day when Anshul Gupta graduated and our school's average IQ fell by several points. But let it also be remembered as the day when one of the most special batches in the history of our school graduated. And did it with pride in being Ramites. When we walk off this campus, we leave with excitement and sadness, not knowing what lies ahead of us, but knowing we will always have a home to come back to, where we were shaped as adults and people. Shri Ravli, this is Praharsh Johorey, your Head of Student Council for the year 2012-2013. It has been an absolute honor. Thank you very, very much.
I think we need to give him a minute. Thank you once again.